As the fleet in the ocean race is forced south towards Cape Horn, conditions are pushing their limits after 1 month at sea. It's the final weekend in southern latitudes in the waters the sailors in the ocean race call the Southern Ocean. In these furious 50s, the winds and waves are on a one-way track from west to east around Antarctica, the continuous train of low-pressure systems generating wind and waves that are the stuff of legend. Cape Horn is where it all comes to a head. The land juts to the south and there is a shelf where the seabed rises from 50 meters to less than half that in Drake Passage to the south and to just a few hundred meters if you pass further north and closer to land. This is where the ocean race IMOCA fleet is headed. The latest ETA is Monday afternoon or evening UTC. The sailors are getting a final taste of the south this weekend, with winds a steady gale force 35 knots and gusting to 45 knots. On the race course, Team Malaysia has edged out ahead of Team Wholesome PRB and Biotherm, with 11th Hour Racing Team sliding back over the past 36 hours. The spread from first to fourth is now over 100 miles, but as we've seen before in this leg, another compression is forecast with the leading boats expected to push into lighter wind around Cape Horn. We are now on the last long downwind sailing part, heading to Cape Horn, with the last low-pressure system that will take us to the Horn Passage, said Team Wholesome PRB skipper Kevin Escoffier. We are still in contact with Malaysia, who are a little faster than us in these conditions. We knew that we had a versatile boat, and that they have a sailboat that is suited to this kind of conditions. Our strategy is to take it easy without trying to do something you can't do with the boat. We're flying down the waves in 30 to 40 knots of wind, screamed Will Harris on the deck of Malaysia, where he was tying in some lines to tidy up the reef in the mainsail. Unfortunately, we're bleeding miles to the others, being underpowered because we're running with 2 reefs in the mainsail when it would be better to be on one, said Charlie and Wright on 11th Hour Racing Team, lamenting the damage to their mainsail that prevents them from sailing with a single reef. But we're certainly in a better spot than after we passed through the scoring gate to the south of Australia. What the crew, and Jack Boutell in particular, have been able to do and repair has been pretty amazing. We're determined to eke out every ounce of performance from the boat, and it's been cool to be racing with inside of the other boats. There's 20 of us down here in this remote part of the world, and yes, we're rivals, but we're also friends, we're family. There's a camaraderie between all of us, good banter on the radio, and it feels good for all of us to be down here together in this crazy part of the world. The forecast is for conditions to remain very strong over the weekend, with winds beginning to moderate on Sunday before easing significantly on Monday, leaving the possibility of a relatively easy passage of Cape Horn later in the day, the 27th of March. And now here is the latest report, which has just come in while we were editing this report. It is for March 25, 2023. For 50 years of the ocean race, sailors have considered the Southern Ocean leg, the racing that takes place between Cape Town and Cape Horn, deep in the southern latitudes, as the biggest milestone in the event. Rounding Cape Horn marks the end of the southern conditions, where deep low-pressure systems follow one after the other, unimpeded by land masses, the Gale Force winds building towering, fearsome seas. Icebergs are to the south and the leg culminates with a squeeze around Cape Horn, where the land juts as far as 56 degrees south latitude, funneling the winds and waves through a narrow passage firmly in the area sailors call the Furious 50s. At the end of this week, conditions are expected to live up that name. The fleet is probably going into the toughest days of the race so far, with very aggressive weather between now and Cape Horn at the end of the weekend, said race director Phil Lawrence. The wind is going to increase above 30 knots, gusting 40 knots, and we can expect 6 to 7 meter waves on Friday and Saturday, said Christian Dumard, the meteorologist for the ocean race. I think we can expect the fleet will stay a little bit north of the ice exclusion zone to avoid the worst sea state as the wind gets even stronger. Dumard said that during the approach to Cape Horn on the weekend, the wind will be strong, 25 knots or so, before easing dramatically, and the sea state should moderate in turn. Cape Horn is a massive benchmark in sailing for anyone who is passionate about offshore racing. It's the pinnacle, said Francesca Klapsich, a member of 11th Hour Racing team crew who isn't on board for this leg, but was available for media on Thursday to reflect on her experience in the last race. Last race, I remember, it was a mix of emotions. I was going around for the first time and coming from such a different sailing background, racing dinghies, I had barely ever dreamed about it. You feel proud, but also it's such a relief to be there with the boat and the people all in one piece. And then you turn to the north and the layers of clothes start to come off as it gets warmer and the weather gets nicer, and of course you're doing it in a team environment, so it is awesome as you have a chance to share it with everyone on board. On the race course, the competition is still very close, with Biotherm pushing about 40 miles to the south of Team Holcim and Team Malaysia, who are so close together they appear to be on top of each other on the race tracker. 11th Hour Racing team has fallen off the pace ever so slightly on Thursday, now about 30 miles behind to the west. Biotherm, holding the lead at 1500 UTC, suffered a tear in their fractional headsail, as skipper Paul Mail had explained in a French interview. We had 2 reefs and the fractional code 0. There was a steep wave and we had a serious nosedive. When the boat came out of it, the sail was practically torn in 2 at the foot. We managed to roll it and put it back in the bag, and we then hoisted a smaller sail. This was our first warning shot of this big low-pressure system. I think it will be repairable in EETAG, but not now. We won't be able to fix it at sea. This is unlikely to be the last of the drama in the next days. The approach to Cape Horn nearly always adds a final challenge, so stay tuned. The ETA is overnight Sunday night into Monday morning UTC.
Okay with loose straps on the reef stuff? Yeah. Fine, I'll sit to women now.
Have a look at the main if you can see if it sits against the shrouds like this.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Action!
Good guys.
Right, reef 2 straps, take 1.
Yeah.
Let's go.
What is he checking exactly?
He's putting the reef straps in. So the reef sticks out the boom here a little bit, and we don't want that to fill up with water.
I can feel that the icebergs are not so far away from here. I feel in my feet.
With your iceberg sense.
Yeah.
We're flying down them in 30 to 40 knots of wind. Yoo-hoo-hoo! Full speed. Boris is loving it. This is epic. This is the true south. Albatrosses, 5-meter waves. Oh. Alright, time to go inside. You gotta hold on.
maybe brush the sail, but I don't think it's going to get stuck. Good, nice and slow to start with.
Yeah, I'm already at 170.
Do you really feel in the Southern Ocean today?
Oh yeah, now here like the elevator, you're like 10 meters up. You have a nice view surrounds you.
Albatrosses as well. I saw some albatrosses.
Yeah, not so many, but very few.
Few daredevils.
Then you're down and slow, and then up. It's like the breath of the ocean. Woo! Surfing the globe.
Yeah.
The biggest waves.
Don't do it now.
I was just thinking about it.
It's not flapping, it's not flapping. They're proper ocean waves, I think you call these. They make it very challenging to sail in, but also kind of fun because every now and then you get like an epic surf and you just go full speed down the wave. But it's nice when you feel in control. When it doesn't feel in control, when we have big gusts, then you're a little bit nervous.
Still 1,000 miles to Cape Horn.
Oh yeah, well you can activate the waypoint.
Long way. Long way to Cape Horn. 3 days.